wanted to know how, what more about Islam, and if I, and what I could understand about Islam through him. The month of Ramadan had started, and actually, when I had heard about Ramadan starting, right away I knew that I wanted to do something for Ramadan. Ramadan was a time that I had understood that you are like reborn. You cleanse yourself of your sins, and you show God that you want to renew yourself. You want to do better. You want to start over. And that's what I understood it at the time, even though I didn't understand Islam fully. So at the beginning of Ramadan, I had started fasting. I started praying. I did not know how, but I asked a Muslim friend of mine, and he said that the way you could do it is if you wake up, you don't eat anything or drink anything all day between sunrise and sunset. And that he told me I could wake up maybe at 4:30 or something like that. I could have a little small breakfast, and I could pray, and then I could fast for the whole day. And it would be something good that I could do. I didn't really understand how. I didn't know how to pray. So what I did is I bought a Quran, and I looked through different parts of it, and I picked out certain prayers, certain things that people had prayed in the past, and I picked out maybe 10 parts of it, including the opening. And every morning I'd wake up, I'd have my small breakfast, and I would go ahead and read parts of the Quran. For me, that was my salat. I didn't know how to do the proper salat, but I tried my best anyway. And after a little while, I went to the store that had the Quran sign in the front window, and I told the brother about that, what I was doing. And right away he gave me a book called The Prescribed Method to Prayer, and it teaches you the different prayers 5 times a day. It teaches you what to say, what to do, the different positions. It teaches you the wudu, how to cleanse yourself. It teaches you many of the rules and things that you're supposed to do to do correctly, basically, if you're following Islam.
But at this moment, are you at this moment embracing Islam yet?
Well, I was embracing it, but I just didn't know
No,
how.
you did embrace it, meaning you did commit the shahadatain.
Well, I had done it alone in my home.
I
but
see.
when I spoke to him, he asked me if I wanted to do it with him.
Okay.
And he said if I wanted to, I could either do it there, or I could maybe go into the masjid across the street.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him, well, maybe I should go in there and see how it is, just to make sure first. Because I felt it in my heart, but I didn't really know much about Islam. I only knew from a book, but I did not know in reality what it was. So he told me to go at 4:30, go when I'm ready to break my fast, and meet some of the brothers, and talk and pray. So I got my book, I read a little bit of it, and about 2 days later I went in around 4:30, and they did their prayer just before breaking fast. I got in there and I joined in on the line, and I did not really know what to do. I had just seen it in the book, but I tried to follow as much as I could. I tried to remember as much of the prayers as I could, and I tried to have as much of the intention in my heart as I could, and I felt that was my most important thing I could do. So I did all of that, and then after the prayer was over, everybody lined up and they started eating food. They started handing out food and dishing everybody up. So I got on the line, I got my food, and I still did not know any brothers there. I didn't know. I looked for the guy. I was looking for the friend, the brother who was from the store, although I didn't see him. So I got my food and I started looking around for a friendly face. And I sat down with these 2 young brothers, and I had a little bit of a conversation with them. I learned a little bit about it. They told me that I could talk to a few different people. And then little by little, somebody pointed me in the direction of one of the young brothers from there, an Egyptian brother by the name of Khalid. That first day I was there, he took me under his wing. He started to explain to me as much about Islam as he could. And he was so happy that I was fasting. He was happy that I was praying. He was happy that I was so interested in Islam, and that I basically wanted to commit myself to Islam and dedicate myself to it. And I already knew, basically, from just talking to him and from talking to some of the other brothers. I mean, they took me in like a family member immediately. They talked to me, they helped me in every way possible. They took me down the street to this store where Brother Musa was there. And Brother Musa, to me, was one of the most fabulous people I had ever met, because he was so full of happiness. I mean, like, I could see Allah shining through him. I could see a light shining through him. When he smiled and when he spoke to me, I just felt happy being around him. I felt happy, and I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn more about Islam, and I wanted to be a part of this. I knew for many years I had been learning about it and wanting to get more information and to get into it a little more, but now I was here and that was it. I was sure that this was what I wanted. I had already felt it in my heart, and to meet the brothers now, this finally just put the icing on the cake. This made me feel as though this is something that I had been looking for all my life, something that I had been missing out on all my life, something that I needed to find. I feel like I wasn't coming to Islam, like I was coming back. I was returning to Islam. I felt like I was supposed to be here from the beginning, and that somehow along the way I got misled. But I felt like I was home again. So I spent time with the brother Musa, I spent time with brother Khalid. There were many other brothers that were very friendly with me. I'd go and eat with them every day, break fast. I would go and pray the night prayers. I would go and spend as much time as I could there. And little by little I started just feeling happy, content. I felt like I had no more worries, no more problems. I felt like I had come to a point in my life where I had never been before, where I finally found just a feeling of peace. A feeling of peace that I could not find no matter where I looked, whether I looked in money or in women or in any different thing that of this earthly world. I felt like nothing could ever make me feel this happiness and this peace until I found Islam. And that's when I found this peace. And now, here I am. I want to learn more, as much about Islam as I can. I want to be the best Muslim that I can be, inshallah. I want to do the best I can, and I keep praying every day. One of the prayers that I love to pray the most is when I ask God to please to keep me on the straight path, keep me on the right path. I ask Him this over and over, sometimes I repeat it many, many times, because the one thing I don't want to slip, I don't want to fall, I don't want to go away from what I have found. I want to be with God, I want to be close to God. I know, of course, that in the next life, when God resurrects us and He promises us paradise for those of us who are good. I would love to be a part of that as well. But I know that it is reward enough here just to be a part of Islam and to be with God and to serve God here. For me, I feel like that's what I needed to be doing from the beginning. And I'm so happy that now, at 28, some people might think it's early, some people might think it's late. I finally found what I needed to be doing, and I'm very, very happy.
What is your goal in life now?
My goal in life, the main thing is to, of course, to stay on the right path, to stay with God, to stay with Allah, to serve Allah, to open the eyes of the other people who were blind, who were living the same crazy life I was, or who were maybe not so bad, maybe worse. I want to tell them about it, and I know not all of them can see it, but if I tell some people and I explain to some people, maybe they can see it. Maybe it might take them many years, like it took me. It might take them 1 year or 5 or 10 or 15 years. But at least if I tell them a little about Islam, maybe God, if God's willing, inshallah, He will shine His light on them too. And that's what I would love to do. In my country, I don't know about any Islamic community in my country. But I'm going to look for it when I arrive in Belize. And if there's not very much of one, I'll help build it up. I'll help talk to my family. I'll help talk to my friends. I would like to introduce them to the truth. Because when the truth arrives, falsehood must perish, you know? So I'm very happy about that. I feel the truth is the most powerful tool you could ever have. And to know the truth about God, and that He gave us this truth. He gave us the Quran. He gave us, our Prophet Rasulullah, peace be upon him.
You know, some people can ask you, how you know it is the truth?
I know it's the truth because I feel it in my heart. That's the only way you can know the truth, and that's the way I feel I know it. I feel if somebody tells me something, that is not true, especially about Allah, about God,